There's always a lot of talk about the Indian automobile industry and the potential it holds. The last few months we have talked about how some of that potential perhaps still has not been realized. However, long term things still look intact, which is why it's not surprising perhaps also that you continue to see big investment coming into this sector from the global automobile makers. The latest announcement now that we are talking about is the big opening of a plant from Ford, one that was of course expected to open around now, because it's again a significant investment coming from the American car maker into the state of Gujarat. Sanand in particular is now being seen as a big automobile hub, and Ford's announcement and entry into this space only further buffers the actual action that you're seeing on the ground in this region. Let's talk about what Ford has planned with this new plant and of course its strategy for the market and the region with the man who heads the business for Ford worldwide, the President and CEO for Ford Motor Company, Mr. Mark Fields. Good to see you.
Oh, thanks for having me on.
And welcome to India as well, and here in Sanand, where of course all the action is happening. Let's start by talking about that. If you could tell us firstly, the why and the how of Sanand, the location, the need for the second plant, the crucial timing of it as well.
Well, we're here obviously to inaugurate our new plant in Sanand, as well as launch our new product, the Figo Aspire. And for us, India is a very important market for us. It's a market that's growing. We view the market growing upwards to maybe 7 million units by the end of the decade. So it's a very important growth market. And for us, we chose Sanand for a couple of reasons. One is a very educated workforce, good, motivated, and skilled folks that are there. The location is very good in terms of being near the port and being able to have shipping and receiving come in and out. And also at the same time we had very good support from the government to set up shop here. And then finally there's a good automotive supplier base here as well. So those things combined make Sanand an excellent place for us to inaugurate this plant. We're investing about $1 billion into the plant and creating 2,500 direct jobs, which will lead to the number of indirect jobs as well. So we're very pleased to be here and being investing in India, and that investment has totaled over $2 billion in the last couple of years.
I was going to say, now with this you have doubled the investment in India. Let's talk about a few more numbers in terms of what this does for you for capacities, both for engines and cars.
Well, it's very significant because essentially we're doubling our capacity, both for assembly of vehicles and but also the production of engines. So with the new plants, this will bring our assembly capacity here in India to over 440,000 units, over 610,000 units of engines. And it's important because a number of that production will be for the domestic market to help grow our business. But also at the same time, we want to establish India as a great export hub for Ford. And our vision is in the next 5 years, we could triple our exports for some of these terrific vehicles being produced here. And it's very, I'm recalling a meeting that I had with Prime Minister Modi a number of months back. It was a couple of weeks after he took office. And he was gracious enough to give us an audience. And I had a chance to talk with him, tell him about our investment plans for India. And I asked Prime Minister Modi, I said, how can we at Ford help you and help India? And he said, I'd really like to see you develop Ford as an export base to help support the Make in India strategy that he's put in place. So we're really happy to be part of that. So a certain portion of the production will go for export.
We've gone straight to that Make in India part, which I anyway wanted to speak with you. It is, of course, for the government, it is a big initiative that it wants to support and grow. But when it comes to how it actually works on ground, the advantages, perhaps certain disadvantages that you have to maneuver around, compared to where things were, let's say, a year ago or 2 years ago when you first thought of doing the plant, and today when the plant's ready, do you see that there is a better environment?
Absolutely. When we actually started the discussions, Gujarat was a very good place. It was more business friendly. It was really encouraging businesses to set up shop here and cut out a lot of the bureaucracy to make the approvals quicker, et cetera. And we've seen a market improvement there. We've also seen an improvement in logistics. We're very happy to see Prime Minister Modi and his administration, the emphasis on building the infrastructure and cross-country highways, modernizing ports. All of those things are so important to us as a manufacturer, not only to distribute our products here in the country, but also to make us a very effective exporter.
And in fact, at the time, I remember when the decision was taken by Ford to come to Gujarat, of course, he was the chief minister
Yes.
as well. And an example of that has been seen to a large extent in this state. Besides the infrastructure and the nearness to the port, it also gives you a different geographical advantage over being down south in Chennai alone. Quicker to market, is that again a part of the reason why you're here?
Well, I think it does give us, it gives us now a second manufacturing base across a couple of very strategic regions in the country. So part of it is to diversify within the country in terms of our manufacturing base, but also as we think of building India as an export hub, clearly the location and the infrastructure that's available to us here in Sanand is a big advantage, particularly as we look to export going west.
There's always been, in the past especially, maybe if you go back a few years, there used to be a lot of criticism about the bureaucracy and the red tape in India. Some of what you speak about is now where we're starting to see the changes in the way things are being done by government. Do you find that speed to be acceptable? Would you like to see changes come in even faster?
Well, we're very encouraged by looking at the speed and the overall business-friendly approach of the country. Of course, there's always room for improvement. We are always willing to give suggestions. We want to be part of the solution on that. But clearly, there's opportunity to speed up approvals and things of that nature. And I think the country is heading in the right trajectory and direction on that.
When it comes to your export strategy and the fact that, you know, from the very inception of this project, it was part of the plan, if you will, what shape do you see it taking going forward? Because of course there are products that are going to be specific to India which also then work in other markets, and then there are global platforms and global products that you might want to also service markets with, which are produced here. So is it going to be a mix of the two, or is it going to be more specifically the made in India for India kind of products?
Well, I think it's going to be a combination of both, because if you think about what we're doing as a company now with our One Ford plan, previously the way we operated the country, or the company, is most regions had to develop vehicles on their own. Now we have global platforms. But what we also learned is there has to be a certain level of tailoring. So for example, our new Figo Aspire is based on our global, what we call our B-Car platform. But of course, we made it less than 4 meters because that's important here to the Indian customer and for tax purposes. So we've been able to tailor that product for here. At the same time, since it is on a global platform, we could export as well. And EcoSport is a terrific example. We're producing that in our Chennai facility. It's being exported right now to Europe. Even our current Figo is exported to 37 countries around the world. So we're really enabling ourselves to not only have tailored products for the market, but also make those products available to the world.